everyone, hi. Okay, you're welcome to Storytime by Vivian. And on today's episode, I have this interesting story here with me, and it's titled Why the Cricket Chips. I'm just going to go ahead and read it out now. Before, there were seasons where the cricket could fly. He flew faster than the bumblebee, he flew higher than the falcon, and he flew higher than the flying marmodoc, who was quite a fancy flyer. The cricket had flown all over the world. He flew to the east, then he flew to the west, and then he flew to the south, but he had never flown north. The ants tried to warn him that he should not try it. It's very cold up north. That very night, it did not take him long to get there because he was such a fantastic and fast and fancy flyer. The cricket had landed next to a pine tree as the sun began setting. There was snow everywhere he looked. There was snow on the tree and there was snow on the top of the mountains. The moose came walking over to him very slowly. "Oh, hello," said the moose. "Bundle up, night time is coming." The cricket did not listen because cricket do whatever they want. He flew up into a pine tree and to settle in for a good sleep. He did this quickly because he is such an incredible and fast and fancy flyer, and that was before the cricket crashed. Okay, did you get that? Okay, I got that, and I'm going to explain it the way I understand it. Okay, basically this story is very interesting, just like every other story I have read. I love this one because it points out a lot of things. Okay, relating the story to our everyday lives would be that key morals would be listen to wisdom. Okay, because basically the cricket felt that, okay, I've had success flying everywhere. I've flown east, I've flown south, I've flown west, only for me to fly north, and you're telling me what? But no, that was where it crashed, right? Yes, because he didn't listen to wisdom and advice, because he felt like, okay, if I can fly all over, why won't I be able to fly here? That's basically what happened to the cricket here, because he felt like, I know it all, so I'm not supposed to listen to you ants, and all of that. So that's what happened to the cricket here. Its misfortune came from ignoring the advice of the ants. Okay, and the second thing I was able to pick out is like to respect environmental limits. Okay, respecting environmental limits in this story would be that the cricket flew west, south, east, and it worked for it, but it flew north and it didn't work for it, just because probably the weather in north wasn't favorable for the cricket. Maybe the air was too much. Something probably happened that didn't favor the cricket. That's why the cricket could not fly in the north successfully. So that's environmental limits there. So let's try to understand what's happening in your environment before you listening to wisdom, respecting environmental limits, and also persistence and growth. So you can see that all of these things have like play a part with each other, in the sense that if the cricket had listened, you would have just waited for a better time to fly. Maybe it won't have crashed. Okay, and also if the cricket had was like, okay, if the cricket was probably open to the fact that environmental limits could stop me, maybe the cricket wouldn't have flown north. Later word, it should have just maintained whatever crown he had, like, whatever success he had had in the past, or probably fly somewhere else. but it didn't listen. So the environmental limits stopped it in the north. And persistence and growth in the sense that the cricket was persistent. It had flown different in it has flown that had success flying to different places before the north spot it. So it was persistent. That found his voice through flying, had found his voice through the success he had, and persistence gave it that voice. So persistence brings about growth. So in whatever we do, we have to be persistent. You can't say you do it one day and you say, I'm not doing it again. I'll do today and tomorrow, no, I'm not doing it again. So that is what I was able to pick from the story. What were you able to pick from my story? Like and drop comments. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.